I'm just enraged. I'm gonna smack him.
Okay.
Broadside with my halberd.
Smack him. Gosh, you and your...
I'm just gonna fucking like a bat, just swing, and hopefully not a miss. That was 17.
That is a hit.
Uh, 8 damage. I'm
Yeah.
gonna re-roll that.
Did you say you were subduing him? You're smacking him?
Yes, I'm subduing him. Is that enough?
You see him whap, and he just passes out unconscious.
Okay, good. That's good. Let's. God, I say, let's. Do I see anything else? And,
You
do I
see
any
guards swarming. They are coming right at you. Do you guys double dash, get the fuck out of there?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
After I smack the guy, I go, let's go!
We're now entering a skill challenge. To
Oh,
get
boy.
away from the guards. The way this is going to work is you have to get a certain amount of successes versus failures. You can use whatever skill you are proficient with if you can somehow explain how you could do it to get away from these guards in this busy talk city. So, first check, you guys run outside and you see at least 25 guards swarming at you. What do you guys do? We're going to keep the same initiative order. Solemn, it is your turn.
I have a +7 in athletics. I am just ready to barrel through. I'm gonna clear a path for the rest of this.
Okay, so how are you barreling through?
I'm going to literally charge.
I'm
gonna act like I'm gonna slam. I'm ready to like stab, so everyone gets prepared, and I'm going to. And then right before I actually try to stab somebody, I'm just going to basically shoulder check. And I'm going to.
Ow.
I'm gonna plow through.
Okay. What about the pedestrians? What about the people? The peasants.
Oh, we're outside.
You were
Yeah, we're
outside. You're now
We're
outside.
Yeah, I'm just gonna plow through everybody.
Okay. So you just start. Okay, go ahead and roll.
Okay. All right.
Were you planning on this? Like, were you expecting it to
Nope.
come to this at some point?
14.
Okay, so 14, you start bashing your way through. There's just so many people during this ruckus that just looking around and like wondering what's going on. There's so much confusion. People are trying to get out of the way of the guards, and then they see you coming, they get ploved over, and it kind of loosens your tracking, and you don't make a whole lot of leeway. Shink, it is your turn. What do you do?
So I have two different ideas, guys.
Okay.
I can either... no. Shink's good! Shink wouldn't think about themselves first. Fuck. Okay. What do you think was the scariest thing we fought down in the cavern that made a lot of noise?
The worm. The carrion
Worm.
crawler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
So very similar to back in the arena, because Shake still has the mage armor going, and now they have the shield of Ouijas and their sword. You have Shink, just very similar to the arena, striding up, hits the shield with their sword, and they mimic the sound of the carrion crawler as loud as they can to try to intimidate these people out of their way, because they are not stopping.
Okay. Make an intimidation roll.
Holy shit.
As you make that cry out, it echoes throughout the streets. The guards themselves stop for a moment, but reeling back from it, the peasants begin to flee away from you and actually bump into the guards, clearing a little bit of a path. The leeway that was lost from Solemn is actually negated because of that. So,
Shink is scary!
Vaughn, it is your turn. What are you doing?
Oh shit! I don't have anything that good. Like, I'm not strong. I'm not scary.
You've
I was
got
thinking either-
other skills, man.
No, I know, but like, I don't know. Shink and Solemn are like team battle, man. Let's clear a path together. And in my head, I'm thinking like, I'm gonna run on top of buildings, or I'm gonna sneak the fuck out. Which is not really something I could do with other people. Okay, well actually, so I do have a question. So my acrobatics is good.
Okay.
would I be able to use my acrobatics to like basically parkour up onto like rooftops and things and make my way over buildings
Sure.
and stuff? Acrobatics. Okay. Well, that is what I want to do then, because I feel like Vaughn would be more prone to do that than actually try and stealth.
Okay.
So-
Go ahead and roll.
7.
What does mage armor tend to look like?
It's really up to the caster.
Fucking 12.
So you start jumping up. You actually make a little bit of leeway, and you jump onto a cart, then onto the side of a building, Assassin's Creed style, and you start going up the bricks, and you make it to the top of the building, but it just takes you a little bit longer than you thought than you thought it would, and you actually
Okay.
see a guard coming up the other side of the building at you. Okay, Solemn.
I'm gonna take advantage of the break in the crowd, and I'm going to cast Thaumaturgy on Shink, so that that cry is even louder.
Okay. So the belling, I will have you make an Arcana check.
Okay.
This is interesting.
20.
All right, so you get a 20, and as the Ankeg scream, I'm sorry, the Carrion Crawler scream is about to fade, you cast Thaumaturgy on it, and it blasts forwards, and it like actually sends a pulse of like a sound wave out that knocks all the peasants and the guards over for a moment. You actually see the guard that was climbing up after you, Vaughn, falls
Yes.
onto the
Good.
ground.
Ooh, nice.
So that makes it Shink. What are you doing?
How much in the way of obstacle do we have left? What kind of obstacles do we have? Or is
You
it-
have guards, you have carts, you have people running, screaming. You have now people on the ground falling. You're making good. You're all traveling as you're doing this, so you're making your way through the streets.
Right. Okay, so if that's the
One,
case, then
5,
Shink is
50.
going to start charging forward using acrobatics to dodge over everything and around over like the fallen people and around the carts and the people, and just trying to find the best path for them to take to get out of the city at this point.
Okay. Okay.
Nice.
So as you do so, you jump up onto a cart that's actually someone is like pushing, trying not to rock too much, and it spills forward. You hear him yell out, "My cabbages!" And you're able to jump up. You see Vaughn, and you actually lend him a hand, and then reach out and grab Solemn, and you hike him up. You are now all on the top of a building. Guards begin fleeing. They start climbing up the walls after you. You see a couple on a nearby tower, and they take aims with arrows, and they're about to fire at you. That makes it Vaughn's turn.
Okay. I'm going to start trying to stealth my way to avoid arrow fire while still making my way forward.
Okay.
So that is, I believe, a 7 as well. It's 18.
Okay, what are you using?
Stealth.
Stealth. Okay, so you jump across with the remaining acrobatics that they rolled. You jump across a building. You look over and you see a spot that is completely just vacant. And you just look at the other. And you gesture once, and you all jump down, and then it's quiet for a moment. You see a patrol of guards surge by you, and as they're heading in that direction, you go the fuck the other way. At which point you kind of start ducking through the crowd, the confusion, and using it. You see the gate ahead. You are almost home free. At which point, it is Solemn's turn.
I contributed.
Is there so there's nothing in our way at this point?
Looks like it.
Not that it seems.
Okay, then
I'd
Do-
like to use
can
my
I
roll.
hear- can I hear like where they're at, like where the guards are right now?
They surged off in the opposite direction.
Okay.
However, there are still sentries patrolling the walls. They have not noticed you yet, though.
Are there any like doors or windows nearby on the towers? Are they near like any of the?
There are murder holes,
Um,
yes.
I'm going to use thumb. No, I can't do that. 'Cause I
Nobody's
can't use
You
it
cannot
for
nobody's
use thumb.
used deception yet.
We have to be proficient in it.
Oh, you're not
Yep,
proficient
you
in
do have to be
deception?
proficient.
No, I'm proficient in
Fuck.
Arcana, Athletics, Investigation, and Survival. Because like those are totally going to help me right now.
Survival.
Investigation might help you pick out the best path to get to the gate without being noticed.
I feel like that's more of a perception thing.
Eh.
Guess it's up to the DM.
What do you do?
I'm gonna look for the best path, I guess.
Are you proficient in investigation or perception?
Yeah. I'm in investigation, yeah.
Investigation? Okay, so go ahead and roll.
Oh, please. Oh, yeah, that's
Nat 20.
So you notice, you're ducking through the crowd at this point, looking around. You see the sentries on the walls. They're trying to find you. They have not found you with the combination of the stealth that you have been using. And you look around, and then you see there's a crack in the wall, probably from when a rock or something from a catapult was torn through it and actually damaged the wall, and it's high enough where you could grab over it. You signal the others. You both duck out of the crowd, climb up the hole and over the wall, and you book into a nearby little wooded area, and you are free of the town
oh
of
my god.
of Volmouth, and that is where we will end today's
Ass
session.
Smith.
Yes.
Holy fuck.